I'm here.
Louis, don't forget to leave your boots at the door, otherwise, everything ends up muddy. And the wet hat, please leave it at the entrance.
I know. I'm on it.
And please wash your hands. I'm already serving dinner.
Welcome to Cultivating Equality Stories of Women and Men, your Fyffes outdoor learning program where we will explore gender equality from the comfort of your home.
Gender equality? Huh? And what does that have to do with us?
I'm not sure what it's about, but let's listen and see. Turn it up, please.
Cultivating equality means that everyone, both women and men, have their own talents and abilities. We all deserve to be treated with respect and have the same opportunities to grow and contribute at work and at home.
Louis, that sounds good to me.
And how is that going to improve our lives, Anna? This thing of cultivating equality.
I don't know, but let's hear what good things can come from learning about gender equality. Everything we learn helps us to move forward in life.
Stay tuned because all human beings win from gender equality. Change really starts with each person. We need to be involved to make gender equality a reality for everyone.
That rings a bell. That idea that change begins with each person and that it is our own responsibility. So, if someone wants to change, they will do it. This reminds me of the household chores I have to do.
What do you mean? Taking care of the garden? Or repainting the exterior wall of our house? What does that have to do with gender equality?
I mean, if our neighbors repaint the exterior of their houses, then our neighborhood looks much better. It's like everyone does their part in our community, right? We are all unique and we all deserve the same respect and opportunities to grow.
Well, yes. Talking about maintenance, it's time to get the paint ready. So what do you think? Should we listen to that Cultivating Equality program and see what they have to say?
Yes, everything that we learn, as you say, is welcomed. For now, let's rest because tomorrow we have to work.
Welcome to Cultivating Equality Stories of Women and Men, an audio learning program funded by Fyffes. Cultivating Equality was developed to raise awareness and promote understanding of gender equality in the company's operation, including both staff and suppliers. Each chapter will be an opportunity to learn about gender equality and business. As we move along, you will discover the opportunities that arise when we cultivate equality. Prepare to learn and grow together in our audio learning program. My name is Carolina Trevisi, and I am passionate about activating the potential for well-being in the world through the talent of companies and organizations. You are the talent. Talent refers to the people and other capabilities, intelligence, attitudes, and beliefs. I firmly believe that change is possible and that every single human being has tremendous potential. I also love nature. I am amazed at the beauty of our planet, including, of course, human beings, both women and men. One of my favorite topics is gender equality, which is the focus of this audio learning program. I will be here accompanying you through this journey of self-discovery, reflection, and recognition of the talents of women and men, both at work and in their personal and family life. Now, I have the role of a presenter, a hostess. However, at other times, I will act more as an interviewer to ask those questions that might have crossed your mind, but you haven't asked yet. At other times, I will act more as a facilitator of key ideas and concepts on gender equality. So you might be thinking, what would be your role during Cultivating Equality, Stories of Women and Men? I encourage you to practice active listening. Remain attentive. With an open attitude, allow yourself to be surprised and learn. The program has 8 chapters, and in each chapter, we will explore different topics that will intertwine with each other as we progress. First, we will talk about the key concepts on business and gender equality. This way, we will assure that we all know what we're talking about. In the next chapter, we will explore what gender equality looks like at Fyffes. The third chapter is dedicated to communication. We will explain how the way we express ourselves can promote respect, fair and equal relationships between men and women. The fourth and fifth chapters will be dedicated to discussing violence and harassment in the workplace and how to prevent, address, and respond to these situations both at work and at home. Our sixth and seventh chapters are dedicated to the health of whom? Women, children, our families, men. Here, we will talk with experts who offer their knowledge and guidelines for self-care and caring for the people we love. In Chapter 8, we will discuss personal and family health, while in Chapter 9, we will focus exclusively on sexual health. And finally, our last chapter will be devoted to finance management, how to manage our salaries, how to plan for necessary expenses, emergencies, and other investments in our families, and how to review our salaries considering Social Security deductions and other unpredicted circumstances. Finally, we will close by summarizing the key messages and practices in each of these chapters. Throughout our journey, we will discover stories made specially to highlight the importance of gender equality. We will also have very special guests who will share their experience and knowledge on these key issues. So, now, let's get started. I would like to invite Caoimhe Buckley, Chief Corporate Affairs Officer at Fyffes. In her X account, she describes herself as a mother and wife who loves the planet and fellow humans, communicator, Europhile, and wannabe yogi. Welcome, Caoimhe.
Thank you, Carolina.
Caoimhe, it's great to have you on board. Let's start with tell us a bit about Fyffes' inspiration for creating Cultivating Equality, Stories of Women and Men.
Well, this audio program is part of Fyffes' gender equality push and is linked to the Fyffes principles, our values, as well as our vision to shape well-being for the world. As a company, we have 2 gender-related targets. Firstly, to train 100% of farm people in Latin America by 2025 and 50% of the workers in our supply chain by 2030 in gender equality. Our second is to eradicate the gender wage gap in Fyffes' own operations by 2030.
And Caoimhe, why did Fyffes focus on these 2 targets?
Well, we know that gender inequality is a relevant issue for Fyffes, and gender equality is a human right. In agriculture and in Latin America, as well as many other cultures and sectors across the world, women are still unequal. Gender equality is a fundamental part of our value of respect, as well as thrive and winning together. To realize gender equality, we must tackle the underlying culture, and training is one way, amongst others, of getting there. So this audio program helps us to get the conversation started, to become conscious about these issues. Eradicating the gender pay gap is also about our value of respect. 2 people, regardless of their characteristics, should be entitled to an equal wage for equal work.
This is so interesting, Caoimhe. And how did the conversation on gender equality start in the company?
Well, we realized we had an issue with gender inequality because we saw that we had no female leaders at the very top level of the company. On farms, we had very few supervisors or managers, and we women tended to occupy roles on the farms at less well-paid tasks. Then, in 2019, we conducted our first ever human rights impact assessment, and that reconfirmed what we thought we already knew. It identified gender-based discrimination and violence as a salient risk in Latin America. This prompted us to create Fyffes' first gender equality program, which was implemented in the farms firstly in Honduras and Costa Rica in small face-to-face meetings. Then in 2019, in collaboration with Business for Social Responsibility, or BSR, and their HER project, Fyffes trained and empowered women and men with practical tools on 5 topics: interpersonal relationships, including care and parenting, personal and household finances, family planning, and health. The purpose was to encourage more harmonious relationships between workers and management in the workplace, as well as within workers' homes. Then, of course, in 2020, due to the difficulty of continuing with face-to-face format in the pandemic, the program was adapted to an online training. In 2021, when we published our first sustainability report, we announced our 2 gender-related targets, along with 11 other environmental and human rights targets. So, gender equality is also one of our community investment areas, along with climate change resilience, primary education, as well as nutrition and health.
So Fyffes has been walking the talk for 5 years now on gender equality. How do you understand the relationship between gender equality, worker engagement, and sustainability? And in your opinion, is there a relationship between the effective equality between women and men and business success?
Well, I'll start with your second question first, if I may. I think the more diverse opinions there are when it comes to making a decision, the better decision you will make. If you think about the sorts of people that buy Fyffes fresh produce, many of them are women. It's the case today that at least 50%, if not more, of people who go to do the regular supermarket shop are women. And women still make a lot of the decisions around purchasing habits. So having a leadership that has a good representation of women only benefits the business decision making.
Thank you very much for setting the stage of gender equality effort at Fyffes. This clearly illustrates the process involved so that gender equality becomes part of the global business strategy. And to wrap up this introduction, Kiva, what would you say to all the people who are listening to us? What would be your advice to get the most out of this program?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that everybody listening to this program is central to the success of our business. I would ask you to have an open attitude toward the program and be receptive. Take this opportunity to grow at a personal level, regardless of your role, as a collaborator with Fyffes in helping us achieve our vision. If you're one of our supplier companies and you work for one of our supplier companies, I would give you the same message. The second step is to put on your listening hat and understand and retain the information you receive and see if you can apply it not only at work, but at home. And then finally, just relax and have some fun with this. This is a really nice format and I hope you enjoy it.
I completely agree. Gender equality has to do with the way we relate with ourselves and with others. As the American psychologist Esther Perel says, it is the quality of our relationships that determine the quality of our lives. And most definitely, relationships that are respectful and free from bias and violence add to our well-being. Thank you, Kiva, for coming on board and joining us in this introduction to the program. It's been great having you here and explaining the framework for us.
Thank you, Carolina.
Thank you. So we've come to the end of our introduction to Cultivating Equality, Stories of Women and Men. We've made a brief review of the chapters that make up this program and learned from Kiva Fyffes' inspiration to invest in the creation of this training. We hope that the content of each of the chapters encourages a true reflection and becomes a motivation to generate real and positive changes in your lives, in the relationships you have at work, with your family, and in your personal life. But above all, that you really enjoy this program and that we learn a lot from it. Thank you to each and every one of you who is listening. Infinite thanks for your time. Infinite thanks for your attention. And see you in the next chapter where we will continue to cultivate gender equality.